Hey guys, John Loxley here, back with our blind playthrough of Orwell. So, one of the topics that I want to talk about today is the concept of freedom itself, specifically because in games like this, like Orwell, there's always talk of freedom, but never really what that means or where it comes from. And specifically, I think one of the big issues facing people today is that they haven't really thought about where it comes from. Basically, it comes from the people. I would assume, based on how they talk and act, that the majority of people today think that freedom or their rights come from the government. But that's actually not correct. In fact, one of the issues with the Bill of Rights, is where the amendments are laid out. Specifically, the First Amendment, which is where the whole Orwell thing comes in, the freedom of speech and the press. And I think it was Thomas Jefferson that was really against that because he believed that people would misinterpret and misunderstand and think that document was outlining the rights that government was granting to the people, when it's actually the opposite. Government is given power from the people. It's a pretty small distinction, but it is incredibly important. Simply because if the people are the ones with the power, then that means the government is beholden to us, not the other way around. And so, the whole freedom of speech thing, it's like that is intrinsic to us as humans, America is probably the only place that I think recognizes this, and I might even be in the vast minority. I believe we have freedom of speech. Most people don't recognize it, but I believe that we have it. Because if you can't speak, you can't really process your thoughts, like I'm kind of doing now. I thought about this earlier, but I'm still kind of rambling a little bit. But that's my little soapbox topic for this episode. Just that all this talk of freedom, and it's intrinsic to us. We are essentially giving government the ability to enslave us by doing nothing. We're allowing ourselves to be enslaved and have our rights taken away. So that's it. That's it for today. Hopefully people would, not today obviously, but hopefully people would realize, it bugs me. It's like you talk to people and I really don't think that they get the concept of government is granted power by the people, not the other way around. I don't know. These are just my thoughts. And I've also found that most people want to be... They don't care if they're right or not. They just want to win the argument. I might get a little heated if you point out that I'm wrong, but I will think about it, and later, when I've calmed down, I might... if I'm wrong, I'll freely admit it. So, if you guys disagree, please say something. Doesn't mean you're right. Doesn't mean we could both be wrong. But I thought I changed your profile. I don't like that one. Or a picture, whatever. But yeah, I'm willing to be wrong if you guys have some different opinions or info. This one. Yeah, I don't remember. Was this a conflict? So, last time I think we got Joseph Langley arrested. And, right. Yeah, there's a conflict with one unknown data chunk. Yeah, last time Langley got arrested, and I looked at the achievement that popped up after I quit, and it said something along the lines of get him falsely imprisoned. And I found that interesting because at the time I didn't know. I don't remember entirely, but it was. I don't remember. There was a conflict of things, and I don't remember knowing whether they were right or not, but I knew the outcome. So I have no idea. Oh, device offline permanently. Okay, so let's check on Juliet's notebook. I presume that episode 4 or chapter 4 or whatever is going to be ending shortly, but it's gone on longer than I expected, so I guess we'll see. Let's check the trash first. Greetings from Copacabana. Oh, Orwell has lost the connection to the main server. That was kind of creepy. Like, I got a little bit of a chill right there. This must be our hacker friend. Okay. So what does that mean? Well, our objective is the same. I'm surprised. Connection lost to Orwell servers. The connection to the main server has been reestablished. Oh. Oh. We've been hacked. I assume he's saying, why isn't this working? Do you receive my message? Ah, there we go. I just had a strange kind of connection problem. It was like the mainframe had vanished. Still got some data loss between the servers and here. Seems like it's all slowly going back to normal again. We had a joker who thought he could intrude our database. InfoSec says they have averted the attack. Huh. I'm gonna guess that was probably... the attack was successful, I would imagine. But that's just my thought. So who is this? I assume we can copy this. Or maybe not. So I don't know who this is. That could be Langley. It's really hard when they're all like polygons and stylized and stuff that I can't really tell. Right. I mean, regardless, I think it's going to be... the hack thing is going to be important. Let's see, browser history. Nothing that I'm told is immediately important. Stelligan. Essay draft. Dangers of the Omnipresent Digital Information. Essay by Juliet Carrington. The modern world is in a transitory state towards omnipresence of digital information. Processes, goods, even money transcend their physical form and continue their existence in the abstract form of data, mere units of information that either represent or describe the associated object. While this yields a lot of comfort, especially regarding the speed of exchange and accessibility to said processes or goods, naturally this also has a downside. In this essay, I will consider the problems that arise from the nature of the omnipresent and arguably omnipotent information. For this essay, I will focus mainly on two such problems. A, the unlimited reproduction of data, and B, the interpretation of bits. Of this is all crap. This isn't the point. You can do better. Oh, that's why she... Wait, no, this isn't in the trash. Okay, well, it's just a draft. This isn't the point? What is the point? Your fantastic course from Abraham. My dear Juliet, you're very welcome to write me in any way you find appropriate, and frankly, I'm happy about your open and honest message. Speaking to you, I got the impression you're a very clever young woman who is afraid to believe in herself, which is a shame because you certainly should believe in yourself. People will always find a way to be cruel, to be judgmental towards you. That doesn't mean you have to take it to heart. yeah. Let me tell you something I rarely tell to other people. I came to the nation from Breibelingen, a tiny village near Stuttgart in Germany, where I still have a family. So, they're referencing like real places. Does that mean this is... I don't know. I don't know how to believe this. So is the nation like formerly the US, or I don't know. I feel like it's England or maybe Europe or something. It's one of those places where everyone knows everyone without any exceptions. My childhood and adolescence were entirely determined by this atmosphere of being watched, evaluated constantly. It was made worse by the fact I felt I could not live up to all the expectations directed at me. I ended up trying to be who people wanted me to be. It was a maddening, abysmal stupidity, horrid for everyone involved. I would never want you to make the same mistake, but it sparked my interest in what I teach, so at least there was something positive to come from it. Come to think of it, I'm part of a small group of people who are just in line with the topics you're interested in. I'm certain you would find yourself appreciated there. I'll give you more information in person in one of my courses, should you continue to attend, which I certainly hope you do. Looking forward to seeing you in the course. Yours, Abraham Goldfells. All right. So we've done both of those. Let's check Rosen. Rosen being her company. Material for PR. Let's see. I rest my case. You're welcome. Juliet Carrington wrote, synchronous over asynchronous communication. Go meet in person always. You're the best, Barry. Thanks. Hey Juliet, put a USB drive with the material you asked for on her desk. It's tons of documents including technical details, yet most of the specifics have been redacted by the clients. Yeah. Hang on. We're gonna have to upload this to Juliet, so. I hope Maria is aware this stuff is so confidential it doesn't even exist officially. No lists on who got or is supposed to get which stuff when and why. Don't get why PR needs this, but well, I won't stand in the way of Victor's grand vision of information sharing. Ask and thou shalt receive. After all, you had a key. Speaking of the devil, do me a favor and come around personally next time, okay? Even though you've just started here this month, you can for sure already guess what Victor has to say about mail exchanges in the company. Barry. You know, that's interesting. Go meet in person always. It's good business practices as far as it's more personal, like sales, for example, or just meetings in general. You know, it's just more friendly to meet in person. But if you're worried about security, in writing is always worse. So there you go. You could look at it a couple ways. Hey Barry, Maria asked me to get some specifics on a project with the internal codename Demiurge. I'll send the authorization key to access the requested info separately. Can you get her details on how it functions from a user point of view, the interface, the controls, and project milestones, dates? We need the data by tomorrow, and Rami is overseas at the architect thing. The only other person who could get us that quickly I could think of is you. Care to help the new PR assistant out? Thank you, Juliet. This almost sounds like Orwell. Demiurge. I feel like I've heard that name before, and I don't mean from Greek mythology. Well, I'm not familiar with it at all. Alright, Insider is done for now. Reader. Missing persons worldwide. Help to find Gunther Ahrens. There is always hope to be found. Hotline is free in charge. Missing loving dad and husband. Oh, so. But why would this pop up? That photo seems like it was taken ages ago. Is that his child he's holding? Is this his real name? How could I possibly miss this? I'm such an idiot. It's legitimate to change your name when immigrating, yet very few people do so. That is what Mr. Goldfells, Ahrens, must have done. Listener. Well, missing since September 30, 1993. Why would he miss or be missing? He was reported missing in 1993, the year he immigrated. What did he do? Well, My dear Gunther has been missing for several years now. One day, Gunther did not return from work. Colleagues and friends claim they have not seen him, nor have any clue where he might have gone to. We put all our hope on the new possibilities of the web to continue our search and maybe find him someday. Actually, just going back to that previous thing, it's not necessarily what he did. He might be running from something. Gunther, I have not lost confidence you are still out there. You would never abandon us. You wouldn't, I know it. If you ever read this, please call or write. Just give us something to know what became of you. We are not mad. We will never be mad. We are just waiting for you. Your loving wife, Marguerite, and daughter, Eva Ahrens. Well, I mean, you know. This is probably legit as opposed to what some weird redneck thinks. Achievement unlocked in one's heart. That's his family. Did he, leave them behind? I mean, maybe. This actually reminds me of, what is it? I saw something on the news the other day about some facial recognition database for lost pets. You know, you take a photo of your animal, you upload it, and then if someone else finds an animal, they take the photo and upload it as well, and if the two match, then it'll tell you. First off, it's kind of creepy they can facially recognize your animal now. But secondly, I couldn't help but thinking about this. And since we're basically playing as the bad guy in this game, we're supposedly the good guy because we're tracking down the bombings, but we're stamping all of our personal freedoms and, you know, wrongly imprisoning people. And so we're straight up the bad guy. And so I just couldn't help but thinking, how could the pet thing be misused? And that's the real horrible part of all this. Is it's not the good intentions of people. It's how can it be misused? How can it be used for evil? Or how can people make money off of it? That's the other thing. All right, let's see. I don't know why public obituaries Bonton Week, loving memory. I assume one of these is going to be related. Patricia Webster Goodman. Patricia Goodman, our loving mother, died peacefully on Thursday at the age of 83, almost at 38, at the Bonton City Hospital. Patricia was born as the youngest of 4 children to a simple farmer couple, Ann and Larry Webster. She grew up and went to school near Farview, where she met her soon-to-be husband, Ralph Goodman. They married in 1953 and moved to Bonton, where she would soon give birth to Olivia and 2 years later, Ronald. You will always be remembered as the light in our lives. Rest in peace. Oh. Rachel Whitfield. Oh, hey, maybe he's actually dead. Seems... No, he can't be, right? Because he was... Well, I don't remember. Rachel Whitfield was full of life until the very end. Yeah, I mean... Of course. Right, I'm not gonna laugh at that. I'm gonna smile a lot, though. From the day she was born, and even today, Rachel brought smiles to faces wherever she went. She spent her life traveling the world and as an aid official, trying to make it a better place. She succeeded. She went right into the hearts of the crises in Africa, yet Rachel would never ask for anything in return. I'm truly grateful for having met you. Alright, Gunther Ahrens, added by Anonymous. So, is there more than one? Or is this the same person? Let's see, died. What is this? Data submitted July 4th. Is that the same info we've got? Yes. Okay. You're telling me we've been chasing a dead man all this time? This is downright impossible. I mean, he did write an email to Nina Matronova just yesterday, didn't he? I honestly can't remember. Oh, I'm beginning to hate the fact that we can only look at points of data without knowing the full story. The truth is in there, but I just don't see it. Damn it, screw all this. Screw Orwell. Yeah, okay, Symes, whatever. I need to think. Look at all the facts again. Just watch for a while. Let me know if anything new happens, okay? I would actually be amazed if Symes was the good guy, but they might turn that around. They might turn it that way. You know, it might be the whole, good people being forced to do a terrible job, and then they come to realize it and fight against the system or whatever. I don't know. That could be interesting if that happens. We'll see. So the report from the team at Abraham's address just came in. It was completely abandoned. No furniture left, nothing, which is no longer a surprise, I guess. Well, yeah. I mean, if he died, they would have... Well, first, the fact they would have had to find the body. Then they would have, cleaned up and, taken care of the estate and all that stuff. Gunther Ahrens, age 63, passed away at his home near Botten. Though he was friends with many, very few knew the true person behind his gentle smile. Although his achievements in life were numerous, Gunther was a person always filled with self-doubt. That is no wonder, considering the world wronged him over and over again. Yes, he had his mistakes. He wasn't innocent. Who is? Gunther always did what he thought was right. He deserved better. I will miss you dearly, my friend. Interesting. Charles Haney. My husband Charles passed away last week after years of severe illness and suffering. I spent my whole life with this man, and I still wish I would have had more time with him. I miss him very much. Still, I like to think of his passing on as a redemption, and for this I am thankful. We will still see each other again. Okay, Manny Cat, you need to move. He is, like, sitting right near where my mouse is. Okay, come on. It's really annoying because I fed him just like, I don't know, 30 minutes ago. And there's still food over there. Like, he didn't even eat all of it. Alright, but he's eyeballing my, the White Russian that I'm drinking. Okay. Why do I go to this? Oh, that's new. The Orwell Project. Manny Cat, could you not? Oh yeah, that's new. Good. With all the new people on our site, proper introductions are in order. Why, hello there. Where did all these people come from? Might it be due to the fact the fucking biggest newspaper in the goddamn nation just published an article on us? Didn't think they still had an audience that large. The irony is not lost on me. We tried and tried and tried to get our message through, but whatever we did, it wasn't enough to get your attention. And now you show up on our doorstep uninvited, yet still wanting attention. Willkommen, bienvenue, welcome. Now that you're here, let's have a small chat, shall we? I've got someone here who's desperately eager to meet you all. Is this my guy? Oh. We've been, or is that Symes? It's hard to tell. World, meet my good friend Benjamin Costigan. Well, he's not actually friends with Harrigan. Oh, right. Or Harrison. Which, did I say Harrigan? I don't know. I am not friends with... Why am I... Where did that come from? What? I'll grant you to add more if there is any. Maybe he is an AI. Or maybe he's not, I don't know. I want to know, I need to know. Benjamin Costigan. And besides the, this looks like the character that I chose, but in the, was it the Steam cards? All your characters have, that you can choose, have names. The one I picked was William, apparently, so. So, presumably this is Symes. No. Let's see. So he can't see this? Okay, so Benjamin, meet the world. On first sight, Benjamin seems like a fine man, doesn't he? He's 32, so in his best years lives in a cozy house, even has a pregnant fiancée named Amy Peters. This is bad. No. Yeah. See, Benjamin here is a government agent in a project they apparently call Orwell. How's this possible? This cannot be happening. Sorry, dude. I need to go home now. So, yes. Understood. Because this is an issue. The problem... There's a lot of people on the internet, and there's this thing called doxing. I don't know how familiar you guys are, but it's basically like publicly outing people's personal information. You know, a lot of it is public data anyway, but there's some freaking crazy people online, and it can be potentially dangerous, especially if they're controversial figures. Like, what was it? Who's that guy on Fox that, like, his house was attacked? Carlson Tucker? Tucker Carlson, I think. Right, okay, yeah, he was away. Of course, they waited till he was gone, and then they, like, banged on his door in the middle of the night where his wife and kids were. Like, not terrorizing him, terrorizing his family, just because he said things they didn't like. Like those are... I have no idea if this dude's a horrible person or not, but you don't involve people's family. That just means you're the lowest of the low. So the whole doxing thing like this is you basically put the info out there to make this guy a target. And it's despicable. I have no problem with him being targeted, but you put the fiance in the picture, that's not good. All right, well, we'll see where this goes. Never heard of it? No surprise, I hadn't either. They don't want us to know, at least not yet. Orwell makes it mind-numbingly easy to spy on all of you, just with a few mouse clicks. Ordinary people recruited from anywhere in the world make those mouse clicks seem as if it all were just a game. Then there's Benjamin. He's the guy who receives your data, has an elaborate look at it, and it says, this is the one we'll put in jail. This is the one's life we're gonna fuck up. That's one hell of a job, isn't it? Just as an aside, most of these people that read this won't care, or will be okay with it. And that's the problem. The whole invasion of Iraq thing, right? People were like, oh, we were bombed, we were attacked, we need to go get them. And I'm like, at the time, I was debating with people. I'm like, look, as far as I know, we don't know if they did it. And they're like, it doesn't matter, we need to show that blah, blah, blah. Like, so they were straight up okay with going against somebody, maybe not even related. The issue is not what we know now. The issue is what we knew then, which was nothing. You know, we didn't know anything then, and people were so upset that any target was fine. They just wanted to retaliate. That's a problem. And that's what, people are willing... Most people, I would say, probably aren't moral. Wow, we're getting into some real philosophical territory here. So morality... I heard there's this guy named Jordan Peterson, and I haven't really watched much of his stuff, but I saw him on Joe Rogan, and it seemed pretty interesting. And YouTube recommended me some videos, which I, watched a few minutes of before I turned away. And there was one thing where he was talking about morality, and how morality is not... what did he say? I don't remember his exact words, but it was something along the lines of morality is not having the ability to do evil is not morality. As in, if you're unable to do bad things, that doesn't make you a good person. Being a good person means having that ability and choosing... What are you doing, Manny? Don't move the mouse. Having the ability to do evil, and maybe even the inclination to do evil, and choosing not to, that's what makes you good. And so, the whole thing about most people being moral, most people probably haven't even thought about it. Some have, a lot have, but, people, like when I was talking about like this, the people that were angry that we got, the Twin Towers went down and just wanted to retaliate, those people, I would argue, are not moral. If they're okay with attacking some person that you may or may not know, if they're guilty or innocent, but you're hurt and you want to lash out, that's not morality. That's straight up evil. I mean, I'm not gonna. It's a very animal thing to do, and we're all animals. But the whole point of being a human is that we're supposed to be better than animals. We're supposed to be more than animals. Just I don't mean to be preachy, but I think about this weird stuff a lot. So, yeah. Putting my soapbox away for a second again. All right. Now you might ask, where did this Hancock fella get this info from? The answer is from the Orwell project itself, because the thing isn't even secure. That doesn't surprise me. No, I don't expect you to believe me just like that. I'd like to propose something better. Go and ask Benjamin. Oh yeah, I almost forgot you don't know him. No problemo. Here's his address. We're not going to see Symes, probably. Symes is probably heading out. He's running home, is probably... I don't know. I don't know where this will go. I was going to say his wife's probably been killed. And then... I don't know. If you would kindly visit him and send him my best regards, that would be much appreciated. We'll take care of the bastards that sit on the other side of this Orwell project, who dig through all your personal files and grin while they look at your nude photographs. Thought is your friend. We'll get them for you, promise. The thoughts must be free again. Hancock. Yep. That's bad. Oh, that's interesting. The logout thing is flashing. Well, we'll see. Attacking Orwell worked, but not for long. Not again. Not this way. I got you a gift, though. Take a look on your Thought web server. Handle it with care. Well, that's kind of creepy. Let's stay logged in for a second. I want to see if there's any more stuff. Doesn't look like it. We resolved that one conflict, and I don't know. And achievement unlocked, memory hole. Based on the data you submitted, we have learned the following. His identity was compromised. Personal information was exposed. Yeah. Just took a drink of my White Russian for a second. So, a while back, this made me think of a different story, kind of. I was reading about, I think it was veterans coming back, from Iraq and all that. And they'd come back like the wounded ones, wounded warriors. And there was this news article about how one of them basically went to the press because he wasn't getting paid and he didn't know what else to do. It had been something like a year, I think, He got wounded, brought back to the States. And for some reason he had stopped getting paid, and nothing he did was able to fix it. No one in command was able to fix it. He was eventually pawning all of his stuff, and he basically almost run out of stuff, burned through all of his savings and all that. And so he went to the press and he's like, hey, I can't afford this anymore. I don't know what's going on. And they basically just crapped all over, I think it was the army. And eventually, after the public black eye, the army fixed his thing. But they kind of went over how poorly the government does certain things. So, specifically the finance stuff, because his identity being compromised due to poor security made me think about this. They spent something like $1 billion. This was maybe 10 years ago. They spent like $1 billion trying to upgrade their payment system, like how people get, their paychecks and stuff. And they had gone through $1 billion before Congress shut it down because there was no end in sight as far as actually getting it upgraded. Their systems were so bad, they were still running. I don't know how many people remember Y2K. Their systems were still running pre-Y2K stuff. Like the Y2K was, so there's this old programming language called COBOL, which didn't use a 4-letter digit or a 4-number digit. It didn't use 4 numbers for the year. It only used the last 2 because for whatever reason they couldn't plan on, society surviving past the year 2000. I don't know. Or maybe it had to do with just the bits on the 3 megs was like a ridiculous amount of space back then. So it was probably something along those lines. They had to save space and did that. They didn't think that, 20 years later or 30 years later, it would still be, those same computers would still be running. Which is honestly a good thought. You wouldn't think people would be running stuff like that, but they were. So Y2K came around, and all these banks and stuff were basically like, hey, we don't know what's going to happen when all of the years reset to 0. There were some memes going around that was like, oh, you haven't taken, vacation for, 700,000 million billion years, and your bank account is now, 1 billion times the GDP of the entire world. It just, the overflow just made all the numbers like just go ridiculously high or something. But no one knew what would happen. They didn't know if your bank accounts would be wiped out, or if it would be, if nothing would happen, or maybe they would just go like you won the lottery, like money just multiplied. They didn't know. So they spent tons of money fixing it. And the army apparently didn't. Their finance systems still worked on this stuff. And who knows, maybe they still do. They would take like printouts from the computers to ensure people got paid. And they would print it out from one computer and then type it in on a different computer. Because the computers were so old, they couldn't even like network them together. That's how bad this was. It's so bad, it's so out of date that they knew people were embezzling money, and they didn't know how much. They didn't know how much money was being embezzled. They're like, we may have lost millions of dollars. We have no idea. And that's how bad this system was. So it wouldn't surprise me at all if something like this was running just like, seriously, Orwell is probably like an Excel spreadsheet somewhere on someone's 10-year-old laptop or something. It's probably something super ridiculous. Episode 5, Under the Spreading Chestnut Tree. Yeah, that's... Oh! Well, of course she knows about it. The Secretary of Security. Symes has been replaced. Trying to think. There's something else I was going to say about that whole thing. Like, I don't know if it ever got fixed, the finance thing. I don't know. Catherine Delacroix. Good morning, investigator. Why would you do this? Why would you out yourself like that? Since you have the most powerful investigative tool at your disposal, I suspect you already know who I am. You, on the other hand, have been a hard-working investigator so far. You have proved Orwell is working as intended. I will be your new advisor on this case. This has become far too important to leave the case to the advisor with an exposed identity. Also, we've killed Symes. Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me at all. Symes is well, but no longer fit to work on Orwell. Moving forward, we will not speak about him again. As far as you are concerned, he never existed. Yeah, he's probably dead. With yesterday's so-called revelation about Orwell sympathizers, this terrorist group has taken to the streets. We need to show all of the nation Orwell is keeping them safe. We won't allow some fools to trample on everything we have achieved. This reminds me of V for Vendetta, where it's like, I don't remember who, someone's talking about the High Chancellor, and he's like, he'll do the only thing he knows how to do, which is use force. And if this is what it feels like they're doubling down on Orwell. We must get rid of the imposter pretending to be Abraham Goldfellows, find out who did it and where they are hiding. Also, the music has changed significantly. I don't even know what my objective is. Find out who impersonated Gunther Ahrens, add any possible hideout location to their profiles. Better to be safe than sorry. Yeah, but I don't think it's talking about security. Button Police Database, Joseph Langley. Oh, hey. Headlines. Whoa, what is all that? Is all that listener stuff? Joseph Langley. New portrait. Let's see. Arrest date. Funding of terrorist activities. Suspect was residing in his Bolton office. We knocked at the door, and after a short time, the suspect opened. He was then informed about the charge and his rights and taken into investigative custody. The suspect protested and indicated his discontent, but offered no physical resistance. That's smart. Probably would have killed you. Is this the only thing? Just the headlines? Yes. House of exposed government employee vandalized. Well, yeah. But honestly, I don't think anti-Orwell protesters gather at Freedom Memorial remains. I don't really think people would turn like this. Is this new? I don't know. We'll start at we'll just read all of them. Start at the top. But yeah, that's the point with the whole Iraq retaliation thing. That's the point that I was trying to make, was that people probably wouldn't care so much. They might care, they might feel wounded and want to retaliate, but a lot of people would be like, the whole freedom thing, like what I was talking about at the beginning, like, the government can do this, that's their right. Our rights are granted by the government, which is just, I don't know. Oh. There's my 45-minute alarm. But we'll go a little bit more. We'll read these 3 and then we'll probably stop for today. I don't know how much longer this one's going to go. House of Government employee vandalized after his private address was exposed. Farview, a quiet house in Farview, was ravaged by vandalism overnight as raging protesters took up arms and tried to invade the home of government employee Benjamin C. and his fiancée. Color bombs and spray paint were used to deface the outer walls of the estate, along with the owner's car, which was left in the driveway. The garden was trampled, several windows of the home were left shattered. Benjamin C. and his fiancée were not home during the attack, which was called in by several of their neighbors during the early hours of the morning. Just before the incident, Benjamin C. had been doxxed, there you go, a practice where online groups leak personal information on the internet with malicious intent by activist group Thought when they claimed he was linked to a new government initiative. The project, now known as Orwell, allegedly will be used to install mass surveillance on all citizens in the nation. At this time, it remains unclear whether anti-government protesters connected to the project's reveal are involved in the crime. Right. Notice how the music's a lot more menacing right now? Anti-Orwell protesters gather at Freedom Memorial remains. The Thought activists unveil government surveillance system Orwell. Supporters gather at former Freedom Memorial. Government stays silent. Manny's walking in front of the monitor screen and sniffing my White Russian. Which he's not allowed. Okay. Late on Sunday evening, protesters gathered at Freedom Plaza in Bonton. It's like now they care, right? Once again, Freedom Plaza has become the center of attention, with over a dozen citizens protesting at the ravaged Freedom Memorial on Sunday evening. The cause of the protest is the recent unveiling of Orwell, a mass surveillance program issued in secret by the government. The information was leaked by the activist group Thought, the same group that was brought to public attention as the alleged culprits of the Bonton bombings. The group claimed in a recent blog post they had proof the government had plans to use the system to put the population of the nation under mass surveillance. We have reached out to the government for a statement about the Orwell project, but at this time of publication we had not received a reply. More on this story as it unfolds. Negotiations in Triflith renewed. Under the lead of Prime Minister Blaine, negotiations about structured re-elections with the opposition have been resumed, leaving experts baffled. Blaine and Cassart gathered around the round table in Triflith. Photo Par Press. The Pargeesian president, Cassart, has given the green light to resume negotiations about a re-election. This is the result came from only one day of Prime Minister Blaine's visit to Triflith and is widely interpreted as a beacon of hope for the crisis-riddled region. Under supervision of Prime Minister, Cassart and members of the opposition gathered at the round table in the Pargeesian presidential palace after the talks had been discontinued last week. Experts, who had mostly predicted long and difficult talks, are surprised by the sudden change of mind by Cassart due to the Prime Minister's intervention. Meanwhile, the riots in Triflith went on, but it decreased in intensity significantly as many followers of the opposition called off their planned actions at the news of the round table gathering. Right, okay. That is all of that. Yeah, we'll stop here. I really want to keep going. Oh wow, look at all this. Yeah, we will stop for today. Also, I notice it doesn't show up until it's time for you to log out. So there's probably 2 more episodes of this, I think. Probably 2 more videos. But you never know, this might end super fast. Like day 5 might just go really quick. It's hard to say. I was gonna reference the whole corpse party thing where I was like, oh, it's gonna take a couple more episodes, and then I got super caught up in it and I just did the whole like hour and a half, 2 hours all in one go because I wasn't paying attention. But yeah, this is good. This is good. There's William. So that's it for today, guys. I really do appreciate your time and attention. Thank you very much. Let me know if you guys have any comments. I tend to ramble during these videos, especially about some of these topics. Hopefully I keep my thoughts kind of concise. I know I also tend to get distracted pretty easily, but I think I've mostly been on point for some of this stuff. But I'm always welcoming of, comments, good, bad, indifferent. Let me know. What is your guys' unique positive moment for today? For me, due to working like crazy the last couple weeks, haven't had time to cut my hair. So today I got a haircut. It was nice. It feels good to be not so straggly. Scraggly? Did I say straggly? That's fine. But that's it. That's mine for today. And that's all of this for today. Hope to see you guys next time. Until then, guys, take care.